Okay, folks, before I start part 3 of the Beast videos that I've been doing, I just want to make sure that you've already watched part 1 right here and part 2 right above it, okay? You had to watch those 2 videos first before you watch part 3. Okay, this part 3 should amaze you when you see what I've discovered here. Anyway, make sure you watch part 1 first, this one, and then part 2. Anyway, I know a few of you have seen, what I'm about to show, but believe me, there is some new info in this video, so make sure you watch to the end, and it should amaze you. Anyway, so on the show, The Masked Singer, they had this character called the Serpent, and it's half like a octopus, kraken. It's got like snake skin, it's got feathers like a phoenix, and it's a serpent. Okay, I told you it's all of the above, because Elvis is the kraken, he's the phoenix, he's the goat, he's the serpent, and the beast out of the sea. Okay, anyway, so who was under this costume on The Masked Singer? So the guy who was under this costume, the beast, the serpent, it was called, it was a guy named Dr. Elvis Francois. Okay, so it was Elvis under the, he was some, singing surgeon, when all that stuff was going around, during the pandemic. Anyway, the fact is, his name is Elvis. That's what's the point here, okay? And the character was called the Serpent, okay? And the Serpent, look what it equals: 130, 49, 140, 50 backwards. There's a forward number, there's the backward. It equals the exact same as Washington, because I told you that Seattle is in Washington, and Seattle is, ground zero for the next 9/11, which is going to happen on June 11th. Okay, it equals the exact same. Washington and the Serpent equal the exact same. So Elvis was the Serpent. Okay, so like I said, I'm showing you connections to the beast, right? So this dude right here, he plays for the Seattle Seahawks, and I told you Seattle's going to get struck on June 11th, right? And he wears the number 24, which is the 42 backwards, and I told you that Elvis died at the age of 42, and Washington's the 42nd state where Seattle is. So this guy right here, so the reason I'm showing you this is because on a particular day, this guy, I told you he wears the number 24, he ran for a touchdown. Okay, and I'm going to show you how many yards it was, but right now I just want you to see that they're saying that after he scored this touchdown, the fans went so crazy in Seattle that it caused a mini earthquake. And what did they call this, earthquake? They called it the Beast Quake. Okay? And what's important about this? See, what's important is the date that it happened. It happened on January 8th, 2011. See, January 8th is Elvis's birthday, and they're calling it a Beast Quake. And remember, he plays for Seattle. See, that's what's important. So it's the Seattle connection. It's the 42 backwards, the 42. It's on Elvis's birthday. Elvis died at the age of 42. Beast Quake. It's an earthquake, you understand? Beast. And look at this. From the day Elvis died on August 16th, 1977 at the age of 42 to the day that the Beast Quake happened on Elvis's birthday is 33 years. Look at that. again with the 33 connection. But you know what's important is down here, the devil's in the details. Look, the percentage of that, that many days, 12,199 days from his death date to the day the quake happened, is 42.19%. So it's 33 years, and then the 42.19 is basically, the amount of days and months besides the 33 years. So watch what I'm going to show you what the 4219 is. So let me show you what the 4219 is. So if you went from Elvis's birthday to the day that Seattle's going to get struck, June 11th in the same year, January 8th to the day I'm telling you Seattle's going to get struck, June 11th, it's 154 days. That's if you don't include the day. If you include it, it'd be the 155. But it's just up to that day, 154. And I told you the Antichrist equals 154. Okay? Now, where's the 4219? Let's see the percentage of 154 days. You see? 42.19% is 154 days. You see? There's remember it was 33 years, 42.19%, that equation that I showed you from Elvis's death date to the day the beast quake happened. Anyway, like I said, I'm connecting the beast to Elvis, right? January 8th, he's born. It happened on January 11th, 2011, the beast quake. It caused a minor earthquake, the fans, when he returned that touchdown. Look, he played, it was against the New Orleans Saints, okay, but it was at Seattle. But look at the team, New Orleans Saints. New Orleans plays, so New Orleans is in Louisiana, okay? And Louisiana, where New Orleans, was the team that was played against the Beast Quake. Look, it's the 18th state, 1/8, Elvis's birthday again. You see that? And remember, they were playing Seattle. And Seattle's the 42nd state, and Elvis died at the age of 42. You understand what I'm trying to show here? And it happened on January 8th. They're the 18th state. They're from New Orleans. Okay? Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this date. Before you do that, let me show you one last thing. When he made that run before the fans went crazy, let's see how long that run was. So when he ran it back, the Beast Quake, see, it's the Beast Quake, see it? And I guess the final score was 41-36. I think that adds up to 77. Elvis died in 77. But look at this. It was 67 yards. And why is that important, the 67? Because, listen, Elvis, if you spelled out his name, each letter, E is the 5th letter, L is the 12th letter, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, I is the 9th letter, S is the 19th letter, it equals 67. Jesse, his twin, spelled like this, because that's how it's spelled on his gravestone, that equals 67. Okay? And if you spelled out 67 and put it into the gematria calculator, it is the first number that equals 162. Okay? The very first number that equals 162 is 67. Equals 162. And why is that important? Because June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. But from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, it's 154 or 155 days. And on leap year, it's 156. But this is what's important. The 154 is the Antichrist number. Anyway, 67 is the first one that equals 162, and June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. And I told you that the Beast Quake happened 33 years after Elvis died. And, if you minus from 133, you minus 33 from 100, it equals 67. Okay? And prime numbers, the 67th prime number is the first time you see the 33 number. 67th prime number is 331. It's the very first time you see the 33 in prime numbers. And the 33 is important because Jesus was crucified at the age of 33 and he rose from the dead at 33 because that's the number of ascension. Okay? That's why the 33 is so important. That's why Elvis is the CC rider. All right? If you don't know my videos, then you wouldn't understand that probably. So I'm going to come back to why this date's important, this exact day, January 8, 2011. Other than what I just showed you, there's another connection. But first I have to show you something to lay the groundwork. So this video is not about Trump. Like I said, I'm laying the groundwork. Because, Trump is a replacement twin for Elvis's identical twin that died at birth. But anyway, so that I told you that Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. Okay, not Florida where he lives right now, but in Ohio on August 4th. Now, remember I showed you that Trump, his hair, if you notice his hair outline, it looks just like the state of Florida. And the state of Florida looks like a pistol. Okay? So you have his hair looking like the state of Florida. If you put this on top of his head, it would look just like it. And also, it looks like a pistol. Do you understand? It goes along with what I'm telling you about his August 4th head wound. But it's in Ohio, not Florida. And the reason I'm showing you this, because you see this Seattle right here on the map. This is the state of Washington. Now, if you look at the state of Washington right here, this looks like Elvis's head right here. Okay, you see it? This is the outline of his hair because it stands up. Watch, I'll give you a side profile of Elvis. You see? Look at the hair, how it's high up on the side. And this is, you see it? All right, so if that's Elvis's head, and that's why I said if this area gets struck and somehow it's, sinks into the ocean or whatever the heck is going to happen, I don't know. But if so that would give it a head wound. Okay, this is a head wound. You understand? All right. If this whole area gets struck right here, and just like Trump's going to get a head wound, so will Washington. It's twin head wounds in the same year, right? But this is on June 11th in Seattle. And like I said, it looks like Elvis's head, you see? So do you remember this story about Gabrielle Giffords? There was an attempted assassination of her life, and she's a congresswoman. And by the way, she's married to this guy. She's married to Mark Kelly. Okay, you got the Mark in the name. And he's a twin. And his twin, I don't know if he's the astronaut or the other guy's the astronaut. I'm not sure. One of these guys is an astronaut. And he's an identical twin. And before I show you the connection with her, let me just show you another shooting about another congressman who was shot. So look up here. You see, I put, when was Steve Scalise shot? He's a congressman, okay? And he's got the same initials, just like Gabby Giffords had the same initials, okay? And they were both Congress people, whatever. And he got shot. And look at the date he got shot, this congressman, Steve Scalise, June 14th, 2017. That was the first year that Trump was in office. He was in office. He became president in 2017, right? And by the way, if you wrote 2017 into the gematria calculator, it would equal 216. And the 216th day of the year is August 4th, the day Trump's going to get his head wound. And June 14th, 6 times 14 equals 84. And why am I showing this? Because this congressman was shot on June 14th when Trump became president. And Trump is born on June 14th, the day that congressman was shot. You see all the connections I just showed you? I told you Trump gets his head wound August 4th next year. So here's that, astronaut twin guy, Mark Kelly. And this is Gabby Giffords, who always kind of looks a little different. And this is the person that was shot, this congresswoman. And what makes this important is because she was shot in the head. Okay? And let me go back for a moment. So remember I told you that the Beast Quake happened on January 8th, Elvis's birthday, but in the year 2011. So the day that Gabby Giffords, who got the head wound, was on January 8th, 2011. The same day as the Beast Quake in Seattle. Do you understand the connection here? Because Gabby got the head wound. Okay? Just like I told you about the Elvis's head looking like a part of Washington State. Because it's going to get a head wound. And it connected to some type of, quake. I'm not saying that it's going to be an earthquake. I'm just saying some type of spectacular event is going to happen on June 11th in Seattle. All right? And look where it happened. In Arizona. Tucson. Tucson has the sun in it. You know that. I'm not going to get into all the codes and all that. But Arizona is what's important. Obviously, besides it happening on Elvis's birthday. Just like the Beast Quake. But Arizona is the Arizona, if you put it into the gematria calculator, equals 84. And I told you that Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, okay? And remember, Gabby Giffords got a head wound. And the state number, Arizona, is the 48th state, okay? And remember, I showed you there was a discrepancy. People were saying that Ohio should have been the 48th state, but Ohio was the 17th state because of some kind of paperwork mistake. But anyway, Ohio's the 17th state, but they were saying that it should have been the 48th state instead of Arizona. So the reason I'm mentioning that is because Ohio's the 17th state where Trump's going to get his head wound. And they're saying that it connected to the 48th state, Ohio. Okay, I know you don't understand what I'm saying unless you've seen the video, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because Trump gets his head wound on 8/4, 4/8. The 48th state equals 84, and they were mistaking it for the Ohio. It should have been 48, they're saying, because of some mistake they'd made with the paperwork. Anyway, so that's those connections. And then the 48th prime number equals 223. And next year is when Trump gets his head wound, in 2023. You see, it all connects. And that's where next year's Super Bowl is. I did a whole video about that. Go and watch it. Oh, and I find it interesting that the shooting happened in Tucson, where she got shot in the head. Tucson starts with the TU, like Tupelo, where Elvis and his twin that died were born. TU. And the sea, like the beast out of the sea. Then you got the sun, But anyway, forget about that. This part is nonsense. And the next big sensation after Elvis, because Elvis was the very beginning of all of this, okay? Even John Lennon, and I'll get into the John Lennon connections in a different video one day, but John Lennon even said about Elvis, before Elvis, there was nothing. And the anagram for Beatles is EL Beast. L means God, just like Elvis has EL at the beginning, right? L, they're saying Elvis Beast. What's the chances that the very next band sensation after Elvis was the Beatles, and their anagram is L Beast? Now, before I show you the most incredible thing that I just discovered, let me just do a quick recap. So on January 8th, 2011, which is Elvis's birthday, it was 33 years after Elvis died, or from his birthday, it was 76 years. Okay, and Trump is 76 years old right now. He's going to turn 77 next year. But anyway, so it was 33 years after Elvis died that the Beast Quake happened, and it's on his birthday, January 8th, Elvis's birthday, which was the exact same day that Gabby Giffords was shot in the head, got a head wound. So they're saying that the shooter of this Gabby Giffords, who got the head wound on Elvis's birthday, the same day the Beast Quake happened, First of all, he's born in 88, and I told you next year Elvis turns 88, okay? And, oh, and by the way, 1988 was the year Donald Trump turned 42, where he had a spaceship at his birthday party, which I mentioned years ago. Anyway, Jared Lee Loughner was this guy's supposed name, the shooter, who gave Gabby her head wound on Elvis's birthday. So you would think there would be a video of this shooting of Gabby Giffords, but I could not find an actual footage of it. But look what I found here. First of all, because this is the first video that comes up when you put video of the shooting of Gabby Giffords. And remember, this happened in 2011 on January 8th, Elvis's birthday. But this video, I don't know if there's video before this, but look. It's 1 minute 8 seconds long. 1/8 is Elvis's birthday. So watch what happens. I clicked on this, and this is what I saw. So I'm not going to play the video, but this was CBS News, and they're saying that this was the shooter. All they have is footage of him going into a liquor store. So there's no actual footage. You would think if somebody's making a speech or whatever the heck Gabby Giffords was doing at the time, there'd be some video of the actual shooting, you know. But anyway, if you can find it, go ahead and let me know if it actually shows her getting shot. But so this was what they showed at the very end of the video.
And then escorting him out into the parking lot. The pistol he used on the sidewalk.
So they showed the weapon on the floor.
On the sidewalk. The bullet holes in the store and the windows. Explicit notes written.
Then they showed images of, you know, him rambling about stuff.
Safety instruction manual. Things like, you have a piece of a historic gun, expletive.
And the reason I'm showing you this video is because of this last bit of info. Just wait.
Manual. Things like, you have a piece of a historic gun, expletive. And written in the corner of a page in a book. Goodbye. Signed Jared Lee Loughner. XOXO, January 8th. Janus U.
So here's where, you know, you got to put your spiritual eyes on, okay? I mean, you know, your spiritual glasses, whatever you want to call it. You have to have spiritual eyes to get this. So this is supposed to be his name, Jared Lee Loughner, whatever. But that doesn't look like his name. You know what this looks like? First of all, it's got January 8th right here. That's Elvis's birthday. Okay? I'm going to show you what this says in a moment. But right here, Jared Lee Loughner, this looks more like the word June, Jun. Because I told you that's when the 6/11 event in Seattle is going to happen. And this looks like an 8. You see? It looks like 88. Elvis turns 88 next year on January 8th. Get it? 88. On January 8th, June, goodbye, and XOXO. I'm not sure exactly what that represents, besides supposedly hugs and kisses, whatever. I don't know. But I mean, I'm sure I'm missing something that's right in front of me here, but my brain isn't working on that. But now I'm going to show you how important this last piece right here is. So look at the time he wrote. 154. 154 he wrote. And if you don't believe that it's 154, even somebody else says, look, he wrote 154, a commenter was putting. You see? Under that video. See, the Antichrist equals 154. And from Elvis's birthday to 6/11, up to that day, but not counting that day, it's 154 days. Okay? You see that? That's why for him to have this note that says 154 with the connection to Elvis's birthday, January 8th, looks like the word June, looks like the number 88, 88, and says goodbye. I mean, come on. And if you want to see I made it bigger. That way you could see. Like I said, it looks like the word June, looks like 8. And you can make what you want of the XOXO. And like I said, it's January 8th, 154. Oh, whatever the heck this is supposed to be.
It's just a beast in me. It's just a beast in me.
All right, folks, don't get my predictions mixed up. These are my 2 predictions, okay? Anyway, end of video.
Yeah, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. No, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. We predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will.
End of video.